It's the end of an era in Los Angeles, but it's not going down the way you think. LeBron James, the proverbial face of the NBA, the billionaire mogul, is suddenly no longer untouchable. And for the first time since he arrived in LA, the whispers from the front office are no longer whispers. The new regime in the Lakers ownership circle doesn't just want to move on from LeBron. They're building the future without him. But why? Why now? Why turn the page on one of the greatest players in league history? Today, we're diving into the power shift that's happening right inside one of the world's most iconic sports franchises. It all begins behind closed doors. While Jeannie Buss is technically still the Lakers governor, the new Lakers owners, Mark Walter and TWG Global, who bought the team for $10 billion last June, are the ones who are calling the shots now. This group is also the majority owner of the Los Angeles Dodgers, who won 2 World Series titles under their reign. That's why they know a thing or two about constructing championship teams. That's why when it comes to the Lakers, they're not thinking about loyalty. They're not thinking about someone else's legacy. They're thinking about the future. And James? To them, he's not that future anymore. He's a fading brand in their eyes. A soon-to-be 41-year-old superstar with too much control over basketball operations and no more impact on winning. Ever since James arrived in 2018, he's had a say in everything. Coaching hires, trades, player signings. Frank Vogel? Handpicked. The Anthony Davis trade? Engineered by Clutch Sports. Russell Westbrook? That move had LeBron's fingerprints all over it. Clutch Sports clients? The Lakers have signed at least 13 of them since James arrived in 2018. And for a while it worked. They won the bubble title in 2020. LeBron led the bubble run. Davis was dominant. But besides the bubble championship that the fans appropriately dubbed the Mickey Mouse ring, the Lakers have missed the playoffs, lost in early rounds, and burned through role players and coaches like paper. The front office is tired of it. And then there's the quiet presence of Lakers minority stakeholders, corporate investors, and big business interests who are growing louder in boardroom discussions. Sources say internal decision-makers are frustrated that the franchise has turned into Team LeBron, the same way that it turned out with the Cleveland Cavaliers. We've seen it year by year during the season and off-season when James was with the Cavaliers. The subtle messages or shots, whether through the media or social media, directed at the GM or owner about spending more, even though the Cavaliers are already paying enormous luxury tax amounts every year. The 1+1 contracts and the dramas and narratives that they create before signing said contracts to be able to leverage and control the Cavs and make him and Clutch the de facto decision-makers of the franchise. The consistent demand for superstar teammates and the inclusion of Clutch Sports clients on every team LeBron's been with. There's a growing sentiment, we let him run the show and we're worse off now. The new wave of Laker leadership wants its control back. The 2024 NBA draft was a turning point. The Lakers shocked everyone by drafting Bronny James in the second round, even though many experts and players alike were saying that the kid wasn't NBA ready yet. Many assumed that the move was done just to keep James happy. But insiders say otherwise. The move wasn't just about LeBron, it was about optics and marketing. A farewell tour. A temporary olive branch. Like giving someone a gold watch when he reaches his retirement age. But what are the Lakers truly excited about? A bright and exciting future with Luka Doncic. It is obvious now that they want to build the team around Luka. To surround him with young, coachable talents that can compete for championships in the immediate future. And they are not shy in showing everyone who is the star and their priority now. Right after the Lakers' 2024-25 season, which concluded in a 1-4 first-round series loss at the hands of Anthony Edwards and the Minnesota Timberwolves, GM Rob Pelinka, Coach J.J. Redick, and Doncic had a meeting at Craig's, a famous restaurant in L.A. frequented by Hollywood celebrities and sports stars. In that meeting, Pelinka discussed with the newest Lakers star about the players he would like to team up with, the team's style of play, and organizational culture. Pelinka showed Doncic what life in LA can be like if he elects to stay and be the next face of the franchise. Notably absent in that meeting was James, the presumptive face of the purple and gold. A meeting that previously would have automatically involved James. The Lakers have signaled this shift from James to Doncic through a series of microaggressions. First, they did not give him significant notice that they were trading Davis for Doncic, a transgression James forgave, sources said, because of his respect for Doncic and understanding of the Lakers' reasoning for making the trade and for keeping it under wraps for as long as possible. Second, within days of acquiring Doncic, Pelinka attempted to pair him with Mark Williams, an athletic young center of the Charlotte Hornets. Davis and James had for years been asking the franchise to acquire a true center, but to no avail. Then Luka came along and voila! Pelinka magically produced a legitimate one in a flick of a finger. Third, when the Buss family agreed to sell a majority stake in the franchise to Walter on June 18th, Doncic was given a heads up and notably posted a congratulations on social media afterward. Sources said James was also notified of the sale, but only after the fact. He was not given a heads up unlike Doncic, and it was only relayed through his representation after it was all but done. This was also the reason, sources said, why James did not post any public acknowledgement of the sale. But the loudest statement that the team made that the Lakers are Doncic's team now is this. The Lakers gave Doncic a 3-year, $165 million max contract extension last August while not giving one to James, who was playing on the last year of his current contract. The team did not even engage in any substantial discussions with James about extending him by a year or two, sources said, as they had done twice previously. This is a first for James, who, for years, was always courted by every team he's been with whenever his playing contract was due to expire. The team even extended head coach J.J. Redick's existing contract for another 2 years but didn't offer any to James. Suffice it to say, the Lakers are subtly saying to James and to the world that it is now Doncic's team and that he's no longer the priority. They are subtly saying to his face that he is free to look for a team next year because he's no longer welcome. Luka in. James out. For the first time in his career, a team had not begged or borrowed against its future to do everything it could to keep James beyond his current contract. The Lakers, by not offering James an extension, clearly indicated they were comfortable having him on the roster as an expiring contract, a rare position for a superstar player of his caliber. James then had no choice but to pick up his final year and $52.6 million player option on his contract, an embarrassing situation especially for James' stature. Players who opted in on their player options were usually not offered a contract extension by their own teams, and this is an indication that the team doesn't want them anymore. That they're just gonna wait for the expiration of the player option and come the following year, they're gonna bid their goodbyes to each other. A clean breakup. Embarrassed and humbled, Clutch Sports tried to show resistance and spin the narrative in favor of James. After James opted in on his player option, his agent, Rich Paul, issued the following statements. LeBron wants to make every season he has left count, and the Lakers understand that, are supportive, and want what's best for him. We understand the difficulty in winning now while preparing for the future. We do want to evaluate what's best for LeBron at this stage in his life and career. After that, James fanned the flames with a series of social media posts that referenced his time with his hometown Cleveland Cavaliers. On July 4th, he reposted a photo of Lakers team broadcaster Allie Clifton wearing a Cavaliers jersey with the comment, "Proper attire." Clifton is from Cleveland and used to work for the Cavs when James was there from 2014 to 2018. 2 days earlier, he had posted a video of himself playing golf in Cleveland, wearing a hat that said, "Welcome home." Officially, the explanation is that James wore the hat to support his friend Paul Rivera, the co-creator of James' company called Homecoming. But unofficially, the explanation is different. "Nothing LeBron does is a coincidence," said one source who knows him well. Now news has come out that James, for the first time in his career, will miss the start of the 2025-26 season because of nerve irritation in his glute. But skeptics said this is another elaborate pout because the Lakers hadn't offered him a new contract extension and the obvious declaration of Doncic as the new face of the franchise. These are the exact same things that he did during his time with the Cavs just to gain leverage on the team. The spin. The drama. The circus show. But to no avail. The Lakers just shrugged. Unbothered. James and Clutch were bewildered. This is a first time for them.
The first thing we want to do in terms of LeBron and his future is just give him absolute respect to choose his story with his family in terms of how many years he's going to continue to play. He's earned that right, and he's the best one to talk about that in terms of how many years he'd like to play. First things first would be for him to be able to make the decisions he wants to in terms of how long he wants to play. We're going to continue to honor and respect that and let him speak into that.
Translation: you are now free to look for a new team next year. A team blatantly showing the world that they are not welcome anymore. James and Paul huffed and puffed, but the Lakers just yawned. Because James was never the king of LA to begin with, and he'll never be. He will never be a Laker legacy. He's not Magic. He's not Kobe. He's not Shaq. He's not Kareem. Those guys brought championships and glory to the Lakers. Meanwhile, James' only contribution to the storied franchise is a bubble championship ring. A ring that is not recognized by many because it was won during the COVID pandemic and has no home court advantage and fans present on the stands. A glorified pickup game. Other than that, it's either early playoff exits or the Lakers didn't even qualify at all. When it comes to LeBron James' career, it was always all planned and very well thought of. His signing with Miami in 2010 to team up with fellow franchise superstars in Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh to be able for him to win his first championship. His return to Cleveland in 2014 was to fix his image after the fallout of the decision and team up with two younger superstars in Kyrie Irving and Kevin Love to win another championship. His signing with LA in 2018 was to pave the path to building his business empire and life after basketball. James has been building his forever home on a hilltop in Beverly Hills for the past 5 years. It reportedly took him 3 years just to get all the permits. His kids have been in school in LA. His businesses have been based in LA outside of his yearly trip back to his hometown and his vacations. LA is where he spends the majority of his time. He obviously thought Los Angeles would be the last stop of his NBA career. He was wrong. James has never been in a situation like this. As much as any player in NBA history, he has been in control of his destiny by exercising a blend of foresight and unprecedented power. Now, near the end, this has been a plot twist that even he didn't see coming.